Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 16 in the Arabic series, and today we're looking at adjectives and opposites. So first we come to adjectives, and the first word we have here is kabir, and kabir means big. So an adjective is to describe something. So in the Arabic, the adjective is called a sifa or na'at. Sifa or na'at. So we have kabir, big, and so this merges onto opposites as well. So today the opposite for big, a describing word, is also the opposite is small. صغير. صغير with a صاد. So these things can describe a noun. So we have, for example, walad, a boy. We say walad kabir would be a big boy. Walad صغير would be a small boy. So we'll see these in examples when we come to that next. But for now, let's just get introduced to a few adjectives. The next one is طويل, which is tall. طويل, tall, and قصير, short. قصير, tall and short. So one thing we had was zarafa. So zarafa طويلة. So we'll come to that shortly. And the next word we have is khafif. Khafif is light. And the opposite of light is heavy. So the adjective ثقيل. ثقيل, heavy. Next we have jamil, which is beautiful. And the opposite of beautiful is ugly, which is قبيح. قبيح. قاف باء ياء حاء. Jamil, قبيح. And finally we have jadid. Jadid is new. And the opposite of new is old, which is qadim. So these make sentences more rich, just not using just a noun, but an adjective to describe that noun. So we have كبير, صغير, طويل, قصير, خفيف, ثقيل, جميل, قبيح, جديد, and قديم. So there's opposites in one sense, so we use just the X to show the opposite of that is that, and they're also adjectives. So we'll go into our opposites more further on shortly, but before that we'll just use some examples on words we've already seen. So we've seen Jamal, and for Jamal we're going to use Kabir. So we'll say Jamal Kabir. And what this translates as is big camel. So we say the adjective first. big camel. Now, with adjectives, one rule that we do follow, two rules I'll say from now so we understand adjectives, how the adjective follows the noun. In grammatically it follows it in whether it has the alif lam, so it's a specific thing or a general thing, so unspecified. So here's unspecified, I'm talking about a camel, not the camel. The camel would be al-jamal. So here we're saying jamal, and kabir is now following it. So if this does not have an alif lam, kabir does not have an alif lam. So here was al-jamal, the camel, and we said we're going to use a adjective for it. We would say al-jamal al-kabir, meaning the big, because we say the adjective first, the big camel. But in this case we're saying a big camel, so we go from adjective then to the noun. So this translates as a big camel. And the second thing that an adjective follows is, so the adjective follows the noun in two things. First being if it has no alif lam or not, so that's in terms of being specified or not specified. And the second thing is in the gender. So here we have jamal, and normally, you know, we said tam or buta is the thing that kind of tells us that it's a feminine word. So jamal is a masculine word, and that's why kabir is in the masculine form. If we wanted to make it a feminine form, that's by the second example, baqara. So baqara, you can see we have the ta marbuta, and the ta marbuta is telling us that it's a feminine word. So because it's a feminine word, we're going to use kabir, but also with a ta marbuta. So here we go, baqara kabira. So we made kabir a feminized version of it, which is kabira. And here we're seeing both of the ta marbutas. So two things, yeah, as we're seeing, a adjective is going to follow the noun that is describing in gender and in being specified or not. So let's carry on with the examples. We have batta. Batta now already, it's a feminine word, and for batta I am using saghira. So I haven't come across saghira. Yes, I have saghir. So saghir now has become saghira. Sad, ghain, ya, ra, and then ta. So here is the ta that's following it. There's no alif lam, there's no alif lam. Otherwise it could be al-battatu saghiratu. We're saying it in not that form. So we're saying a small duck. A small duck. And we have similarly fa'r. Fa'r was a mouse. Again, it's going to be something small. That's the feminine version. This is the masculine version. So we have saghir without the ta marbuta. So I would say pause the video, attempt the following, the remaining. With what? Well, you try with some of these at the moment. Yeah, try with some of these. Put it there if it makes sense. Otherwise, just follow the next ones. So next we have zarafa. Zarafa you kind of copy from there. If you unpaused it and carried if you paused it and you carried on doing it and used tawil, excellent. Otherwise, yeah. So zarafa, a giraffe. So the giraffe you're going to say tawil, but because it has the ta marbuta, we're going to say tawil with the ta marbuta at the end. Simple way to make it a feminine version of the adjective, of the word. صغير, طويلة, and burj. Burj is another tall thing. A tall giraffe, a tall building. So a tall building, we're going to say طويل. For bint, we have قصير, short. So that's a new word that's not there. قصير. But because we can't say قصير, it's a feminine thing, so we're going to say قصيرة. That's a girl. قصيرة. بنت قصيرة. A short uh, girl. And walad, we're saying short as well, so we can say walad قصير. ظرف, for ظرف I have خفيف. We have خفيف there. So envelope, light envelope. Not heavy, light. خفيف, it's masculine, this is going to remain masculine. ظرف خفيف. And سمكة, a fish, but we're going to describe the fish as a light fish, so we're saying خفيفة because it's got a تاء مربوطة. خفيفة, سمكة خفيفة. A light fish, a light envelope. Asad is a lion, and for lion I have ثقيل. I don't have ثقيل there, no. ثقيل, and ثقيل is heavy, a heavy lion. ثقيل. خيمة, tent, a heavy tent, but now because this has a تاء مربوطة we can say ثقيلة. ثقيلة. And finally we have jarada and hida, hida being shoe or sandal, sorry, or shoe, and jarada, which is a grasshopper. So for the jarada, grasshopper or locust. So we have for jarada, I have qabiha, because an ugly locust or grasshopper. Qabiha, the ta marbuta there, so it's a feminine word. We have qabiha, and now the masculine version, hida, an ugly slipper or sandal or shoe. We have hida, qabih. قبيح. كبير, big. صغير or صغيرة, small. طويل, طويلة, tall. قصير, قصيرة, short. خفيف, خفيفة, light. ثقيل, ثقيلة, heavy. And قبيحة or قبيح, ugly. So that's an example of using adjectives in our sentences now. So if you can practice making sentences from هل, هذا, or هذا, or هذه. هذه بطة صغيرة, this is a small duck. هذا ظرف خفيف, this is a light envelope. So you can practice those things. So that's the first session of that, and then there's just a second part now to look at opposites. So I'll just get some opposites on the board. So we've already seen some opposites on that side, and just to show a few more. And opposites are known as al-ma'kusat. Al-ma'kus. Plural of ma'kus is al-ma'kusat with alif ta at the end, which is opposites. So for these words I have some we've seen previously, amama, and the opposite is khalfa, so that's in front of. Khalfa, behind. We have farigh, empty, and the opposite of that is mamlu. Mamlu, full. We have samin, fat, and the opposite of fat is thin, nakhif. Thin. We have barid, 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 and it's cold. Sakhin, sakhin. Hot. We have yameen and shimal. That's right. Right side, left side. We have shimal. So these also can be adjectives if you put it in front of the nouns. Empty, kub farigh, an empty cup. I'll use alif lam in the next one. So the cold pillow. So al-wisada, we said pillow was wisada, and that's a feminine word. Al-wisada with ta marbuta at the end. So we'll say al-wisada barida with a ta at the end, ta marbuta, a cold pillow. Doesn't make sense, but it's using something that comes at the top of my head at the moment. Mamlu or khalf. We'll go with mamlu. So on mamlu, so something full. So just I was going to alif lam, so I'll use alif lam now. So something full is the I'll use something different. Hot. As-sakhin, so it'll be as-sakhin if I use alif lam in the noun first. So we'll have the hot ash-shams as-sakhin, the hot sun. Well, normally we use al-har, the hot sun with that word. So ash-shay, the tea, the hot tea, ash-shay. So I've used alif lam in front of shay, and now I've specified it. So if I specify, like I said, now shay is also masculine. So that's two things. I'm going to make the next thing masculine as well, the adjective, and I'm going to make it with an alif lam. Ash-shay as-sakhin, the hot tea. So there you go. And that's how we kind of know if it's a adjective or not, when the word after it, if it follows it normally in having alif lam or not having alif lam, being specified or not specified, and being masculine or feminine, we kind of realize that it's a adjective and not telling us something about it. Because if I was to say al-walad, the boy, if I was to say the boy is small, we said saghir was the word for small. So if I said al-walad, the boy is small, al-walad, the boy, saghir. Now saghir hasn't copied al-walad with alif lam. So that means the boy is small. We're telling you a predicate and the subject, which we haven't really explained. But we tell, so that's the boy is small. Al-walad saghir. But if I say al-walad as-saghir, because now saghir has copied boy in terms of being masculine, and alif lam. Now we're saying the boy, the small boy. And the sentence is not complete. Whereas in the other case it was the boy is small. Now we're saying the small boy. So what about the small boy? We haven't completed the sentence. So that's the difference. That's one thing how we know, because it follows in conformity with gender and in specification with adjectives. So we'll finish that for today, and inshallah just one more lesson, and hopefully that's level 0 complete of Arabic, and that kind of builds us to now go on to more like comprehension and other things as we pick up on this journey of learning Arabic. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.